So in my previous video, you saw that I just put tape, the double-sided tape across top and bottom. The issue with that is when I'm plunging and cutting through small items, that sometimes the router, when it cuts through, can get stuck or kick that piece out, and sometimes it might do some damage on your shape. So here's how I'm gonna solve that issue. I tried this earlier and this worked out well for me. So now that I've scanned this, I'm ready to cut. So I can see the item on here. I'm gonna go to cut. Now I can see that it's highlighted, and I just need to keep this dot on the highlighted piece. But right now I can see this is gonna cut 1/4 inch deep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change that. My plywood is, my plywood is 1/4 inch thick. So I'm gonna change that and tell it to cut 3/16. Now that's not gonna cut all the way through the plywood, and since I don't have tape there, let me make this cut real quick and I'll show you how I deal with that. So I have it, it's gonna cut on the line, it's gonna cut 3/16 deep, but I haven't done the Z-touch. The Z-touch is when you wanna measure from where the router bit is, and I have an 1/8 inch router bit, to the thickness of the material. So if I push Z-touch, then the router is going to go down and it's gonna measure the distance from the bottom of the router bit to the material. So that's gonna help for the depth to be more accurate. So now it's ready to go. So I go to cut. I need to turn the router on. The screen's on, but the router bit's not spinning, and I need to turn the dust collector on. So let me cut this real quick and we'll see what happens. Push the green button to retract. I'm going to vacuum off. I push the orange button to retract. I turn the router bit off and the vacuum off. And now you're going to see, this is the nose of the pumpkin. So what I found that is if I get a razor blade and I score just a little bit of veneer that's on there, then I can cause this piece to pop out. And I still have a little bit of residue of the veneer. So now I'm gonna go back here to clean that up. I'm gonna come back over this. I'm gonna tell it, cut it 1/4 inch deep. So I changed the depth to 1/4 inch. I'm gonna go back over and cut it again. So now that's cut all the way through. And I don't have that veneer hanging out. So that's an easier way of cleaning this up and not having to put double-sided tape over the whole thing. Because I found on one of the pieces I put too much tape, and it was so strong when I pulled it actually pulled the veneer off the back side of this 1/4 inch plywood. That should help.